All right, guys, welcome to tonight's team call. I am Corey Mayo, your CEO and founder of Team Living Healthy and Fit. It's back there on my wall. Woo-woo. I am super excited to share some content with you guys. It's not going to be as structured as the last couple calls have been with the PowerPoints, because I kind of want to have a little bit of interaction as you guys are kind of as we're going through the call. If you have questions, type them in the comment box so that we can kind of go through some things that maybe you're struggling with on your social media, and I can help you with that as we're going through this call. So tonight, what I really want to go over, and of course my nose like all of a sudden is starting to run. So one of the things I wanted to go over with you tonight is the balancing act of posting publicly on social media and also inviting privately in private messages when you're inviting your followers to join you, okay? There is a very happy marriage. There needs to be a very good balance between the two. We can't just always post on social media and expect all these people to flood us and be like, oh my God, I want to join, I want to join, I want to join. It doesn't work that way, okay? It would be amazing if it did, but it just does not work that way. We have to put some behind the scenes work in. And the same goes for if we're just constantly sending out invites to people in a personal message, but we're never actually posting anything on social media, okay? We're never actually sharing our journey. It seems kind of creepy, right? Like if you're not publicly sharing what you're doing in your with your health and fitness, what you're doing in daily life, all of that, and you're messaging all these people, but they can't come to your page and see like what you're really about, it's kind of creepy. So there needs to be a good balance. How many of you feel like, are you guys hearing me okay? Yeah, okay, cool. Because for some reason, usually it highlights the box of the person that's talking, and for some reason Dana's box is highlighted even though she's muted. So I just wanted to make sure that I'm not like talking to nobody, that you guys can't actually hear me. Okay, perfect. So is anybody kind of struggling with getting engagement on their social media lately, or finding things that work to get engagement on your posts? Anybody struggling right now? No, not really. Okay, so if you're posting consistently, you may have noticed that Facebook especially is changing. My Facebook page was getting some good engagement, and all of a sudden it kind of plummeted. And so I've been kind of playing around with things, and I listened to a call that Meg did a week ago, and something that she found was working well for her actually clicked to me that what was working well for me as well. And it's just a status update is working. So I want to what I want to kind of go over to is that social media is constantly changing. Okay, there's constantly changes in the algorithms and how they determine if your content is being seen and who gets to see it and how many people, because Facebook especially wants the user to have a good experience. So they're going to keep using the things that people are engaging on, okay? Sometimes at one point it was a good picture, like a post with a picture would get you right into the news feeds right away. And then it became live feeds, and then it became a video. And now it's kind of more just making a status update. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But tonight I want to share my top tips to creating success between posting on your social media platforms and inviting behind the scenes to create success in your business, to create momentum, and to build those relationships and connections with people so that we can help more people each month, okay? So tip number one is don't be attached to the post. How many of you have ever written out a post and you're like, oh my God, like you're pouring your heart out and you feel like this is going to be a really good post and people are going to connect to it, and it plummets. Nobody likes it. Nobody comments. Nobody messages you. And you're like, damn, I just poured my heart and soul into that thing, and you're totally attached. And then you're like, Well, nobody cares what I have to say because nobody liked or commented. It has nothing to do with necessarily the content that you put out there. So we have to remember to not be emotionally attached to the content that we're putting out there, because it's such a numbers game in what time you're posting, if people like it right away, was it eye-catching enough? There's so many different factors that go into how many people get to see your post at first that we just have to remove the emotion from it, okay? It's okay to pour your heart and soul out and be emotional as far as putting yourself out there and being vulnerable, but try to not be emotionally connected to what the outcome is going to be. No expectations, just being you. I can't tell you how many times I've done a post like that, it plummets and does nothing, and I either change the picture or I post it maybe 15 or 20 or 30 minutes later, and then it blows up, okay? It's all about the algorithms and how social media puts it into the news feeds. So don't be emotionally attached, and pay attention to what is doing well. What kind of posts are doing well on your page, okay? Be willing to adjust, all right? So another thing is, to go with that, is reuse content. Like Timehop, you guys, Dana, I know that you're a newer coach, so that doesn't really play well for you quite yet, but it could give you some things that you were feeling, or maybe some old pictures of how you were a couple years ago that you can use. Work smarter, not harder, right? I reuse the same content. If I get a post that comes up in Timehop and it blew up, I will reuse it and just adjust it to what's going on in life now, or an updated picture or whatever, because that content from a year ago, people don't remember that, right? People don't know that that's what you posted. I don't know anybody that is watching my social media so close that they know on this day a year ago, this is what Corey posted, okay? So use those things. And I know you guys have seen me post and share the really shitty ones of what not to do. That's another great way to see your growth, to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I posted that, but I'm doing better now because I'm no longer using posts like that. So use that Timehop and old posts and recycle content. Another trick that I do that I'll give you real quick is when I have a post that's maybe my story or a call to action that does really well, I will copy it and paste it. We have two Hannahs. I will copy it and paste it. Oh, she got it. And put it in a note section in my phone. I actually have one of my sections is successful posts, and then I have like one that's labeled business posts. I have one that's my story posts. I have one that's call to action posts for challenge groups. That way I know that I have, maybe you're on the fly and you need content to share, or you're looking for something that was engaging with people before in a few months. Reuse that content, okay, you guys? Reuse that stuff. Tip number 2, ask questions, okay? Ask questions. People love giving their opinion. So what I started to tell you that Meg had shared is I have noticed that my, I know if you've been watching my posts for a while, or we've talked about it on other social media calls, is I do an inspiration post every morning. And for a long time, I just did the words, and it really didn't get a lot of engagement. So then I started using pictures with the quote, or making my own, or, you know, using a family picture with a family quote, or something like that, okay, for my morning inspiration post. I have gone back to, for a while now, just typing out the words, just putting the quote out there, and sometimes I put just a silly hashtag that goes along with what I was thinking or how I felt when I made that post. Those have been getting far more engagement than when I was doing a picture. So when I was listening to Meg's call the other day, she was like, I don't really know what's going on with social media. It's like all over the place. My Facebook, she has, I want to say like 80,000 something followers on her Facebook like page. So when she's getting 10 likes, there's something going on, right? Something has changed. If she's only getting 10 likes on a post that she has 80,000 followers, where normally she's getting a couple hundred in comments and things like that. So she shared that if she just asks a question, that blows up. For whatever reason, Facebook is putting just status updates without a picture, without a ton of content, just a status update into more news feeds. We don't know why, but it's clear that is working. So what I encourage you to do is, before you're going to do a call to action post, or you're going to do your heartfelt post that you really want to engage people and get people to see, ask a question. Okay? Ask a question a few hours before. Get all those likes and comments. Get all that engagement, because when you get all of that, Facebook goes, oh, she's giving good content. People want to engage with her. And when you do that call to action post or that vulnerable post, it is going to go into far more news feeds off the get-go. Okay? So I've been doing that for a couple days now. And on my Facebook like page, when I ask a question, before, when I would ask a question, I would get like maybe 2 comments, maybe 3. I'm getting 22. One day I did this stupid thermostat. Is it okay to turn on the heat yet? And I don't even, it was like 60 something comments, you guys. It doesn't have to be about nutrition and fitness. Today I asked, what would you do if you won the lottery or $1 million or whatever the question was? People like to just give their opinion or just have fun and comment on different things like that. One day I asked, salty or sweet snacks. That blew up too. So think outside the box and ask questions to get people to engage with you, okay? People love to share their opinion. Yes, how to hard boil an egg. Yes, that blew up for you. So if you do that every day or every other day, some sort of a post like that, it's going to draw the attraction to you. Does that make sense? It's going to get you into more affinity. It's going to get you into more algorithms, and Facebook is going to love you. Okay? So do what works. Don't be reluctant and say, oh, I got to think of a question. Come on, it's like the easiest post in the world to put up 5 words to ask a question. That's like a coach's dream when you're on the fly, right? To just ask a silly question. So tip number 2, and that goes for when you're in your post too. So like if you're doing a vulnerable post, draw your followers into you by asking them, have you ever felt that way? Did you feel that way? Do you know what I mean? Asking them questions. What would you do? Ask questions to help draw them into the emotions that you're feeling. Okay? So ask questions. And definitely do just a status update with asking a question to get engagement before you're going to do your big call to action or vulnerable post. Tip number 3, call to action posts. So we used to say do these once, maybe twice a week, so we're not like bombarding people, right? But it is so much better to give people direction and have a call to action every day. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're inviting to a challenge group, but you're giving them a call to action. You know, comment below with your favorite emoji if you've ever felt like this. Or it can be a call to action. If you're ready for something different, comment below or message me. But making sure that you're sharing the opportunity and challenge groups and that you are open to helping them with call to action posts, okay? And that's one of the easiest ways to invite you guys. April was sharing with us on when she went live in our group that like, that's one of the ways. How many of you have had a bunch of conversations going, but maybe aren't quite ready to invite yet? And you want to hit that 3 to 5 people, or maybe 10 people, or maybe 15 people if it's a massive action day or whatever to invite, but you maybe don't have that many names. Something that April does and something that I've been doing as well that we do in our Power Hour is we do a call to action post. And then the next day, we voice message those people who liked and commented on that call to action post. Okay? And we just say, hey girl, thank you so much for your love on my transformation post last night. Sometimes it's really hard to put myself out there, but with friends like you and the love and support that you've shown, it makes it a little bit easier, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for liking and comment or liking my post or supporting me or, whatever it is. And you know, I don't know if this would be for you or not, but we have a great group of girls that are going to be starting in October with our nutrition and fitness and just kind of working on some self-love and finding some balance before the holidays hit. We would absolutely love to have you, and with the support that you've already given me, I know that you would fit right in. Does that sound like something you'd like to be a part of with us? Perfect. Boom. Send. And you know what? If you're afraid that you're going to word vomit, I voice record it to myself. I open Messenger, I voice record it to myself, I listen to it back, and then I forward it. So that I'm not, because like on iPhone, you can message somebody in a text, hold it, and if you don't like it, you can delete it and restart it. Facebook Messenger doesn't work that way. Once you let go of the button, it's sending, it's gone. There's no taking it back. So send it to yourself. Practice sending that message to yourself. Don't put a name in it. Just say, hey, girl, or hey, love, or whatever your language is. I usually say, hey, girl, hey, love. And then you can forward it from there. Okay, it takes the pressure off. And then I have some people that I really enjoy talking to, and I will send them a personal message. I'm getting better at it. I'm getting more comfortable with it. But I'll tell you what, guys, like that's kind of a bonus info is the voice messages are a game changer. They get to hear you. They get to, you know, understand that you're coming from a genuine place and it's not just a copy and paste. Funny story quick. I had a girl who's a friend of mine that's in another MLM, and I know that she is. We've talked about it and we've exchanged samples and things like that. And she sent me a message about one of her products being on special and said, hey, Katrina, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Well, I know what she did because I'm in an MLM. She copied and pasted that shit to a bunch of people and was not connecting with anybody, just copied and pasted it. So I saw it, but I didn't respond right away because I was busy with dinner and things like that. And then she was blowing my phone up. I'm so sorry. I just copied and pasted. Oh my God. Like just lost her shit because she thought that like I was judging her. I said, whatever, it's all good. But it's just kind of funny. So it allows you to practice and take that pressure off, you know, and forward it to that person. And what's really cool is when you do it, there's a forward button literally right next to the voice message. Okay. So using call to action posts is a great way to also increase your invite list. Number 4 is going to be quality over quantity. I know that that's something that we have talked about several times. And I know that as a rule of thumb, we want to be posting 3 to 5 times a day because the more we post consistently, the more we go into more algorithms, the more people see our things, and the more that we get engagement. And Facebook says, oh, people are engaging with her and like her things. However, I don't want you just slapping shit up there. If it's not a good picture, don't put it up. If you really don't have anything to say, don't say anything. Now, there's a balance there, right? Because sometimes we feel like life is mundane and I'm doing the same freaking thing every day. I have nothing to talk about. I promise that you have something to talk about. You just need to think about it, okay? And try not to put too much pressure on yourself. But we should be posting at least once a day, at the very least, okay? So make sure that they're good quality posts. Like you're opening up your story a little bit. You're sharing a piece of you and what's going on in life. You're sharing some accomplishments you've had, or you're sharing some struggles that you're currently facing. You're using good, clear images with good lighting, okay? And it's not just always a selfie. And good Lord, please, 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 please do not take a selfie from here. Nobody wants to see your boogers, okay? Or your double chin, because from this angle, everybody freaking has a double chin, okay? It needs to be up in front of you or up above you a little bit so you're looking up and you're bright and your shoulders are back and you're excited about, you know, you just have a different persona when you're looking like this versus looking up like this, okay? It's just like if you sit like this all the time or if you sit with your shoulders back, okay? So good content, provide value. And you guys, value doesn't mean that you're giving them a recipe or you're giving them a fitness video. Value is inspiration. Value is sharing your story and how you've overcome things. Value is showing other people that they can do it too, okay? I know that I personally used to get wrapped around value. I have to like provide something, right? There has to be like content of a recipe or fitness moves or how to lose weight or like a how-to or something like that. It doesn't have to necessarily be that. It's just it's not just talking at people. Hey, I went and did my hair today. Or, hey, I got my workout in. Great. But why do you work out? Why are you excited about that? Was that a big accomplishment for you to get your workout done today? Okay, provide a little bit more than just talking at people. Tip number 5 is respond and engage on every comment, okay? That doesn't always mean, sometimes it's just an emoji. You know, it doesn't always mean that you have to go into this deep, heartfelt comment back to the person, but acknowledge and thank them. Acknowledge the fact that they're engaging with you. They took time out of their day to engage on your post or to comment on and ask questions or whatever. Make sure that you're commenting and acknowledging them back. Sometimes it's just the emoji giving them a kissy heart, you know, that little one. I use that one a lot. Or, you know, the like high five or like the praise or thank you or whatever one you want to call that. Sometimes it's just an emoji, but there's other times that you can say, hey girl, I would absolutely love to answer your questions. How about I'll shoot you a message? Or you just thank them, you know, with a nice comment for whatever they said or how they engaged. And take the conversation off of your comments, right? So if they ask a question or they say I'm in, you say, perfect girl, I'm going to shoot you a message, or hey, you know, I'll message you in the morning, or whatever it is. And then take that conversation and build that relationship. They're the ones that are already watching you and engaging with you. So don't just let them sit by the wayside. They're watching you for a reason. So take that conversation behind closed doors and have that personal one-on-one to grow that relationship and build that trust. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so that was number 5, which is respond and engage on each comment. Okay. Number 6 is inviting behind the scenes. So this is going to be your private invites, right? We have to build trust and credibility. I don't know how many of you saw my live video in the group yesterday, but there are so many people who need us. We have this amazing gift to offer people, you guys. We have, did any of you see that video? I know Dana saw it because she commented on it. Melissa Ludwig, who we all know, April's sister, had 2 women in their 30s who had talked to her about their nutrition and fitness in the past. They did a couple free groups, and one had even done a challenge group, but she just really never committed, okay? Never really committed to doing the program. And unfortunately, in the last week, those 2 women who were married and had children passed away because of health-related issues. That's too young, you guys. That is too young. So there are people out there who need us, and they are watching, but they aren't necessarily liking or commenting because they don't believe in themselves yet. They're scared. They feel lost. They don't know where to start. That's why personal invitations are so incredibly important. And I said it in the live video yesterday. When they don't comment back, or they say yes and they go MIA, or you send them the link and they never enroll, it's not about you. It's not about you. This is not your journey. This is not about you. It's not something you did wrong. It's the fact that they don't believe in themselves yet. Okay? So those are the people that we need to continue to reach out to and follow up with. Now, not bombard them with, you know, are you going to sign up? Are you going to sign up? Being a friend and continuing to grow that relationship and that trust behind closed doors to let them know that they have an outlet, okay? Because they're scared. Think about when you first started. How many times did it take you to be invited? Were you ready right away? Did you say, first invite you got, you were like, woo, let's go, I'm in? Hell no. I know I wasn't. It took me months. And that was after I had a burnt copy of the shit. So it doesn't just, nobody just dives in, okay? So just remember that when you're sending those invites and you hear the word no, or you get crickets, or they stop responding, just keep being a friend, because those are the people who are going to come back and say, thank you for not giving up on me. I'm ready. And out of the blue, they will say they are ready. But even when they don't respond, I've had, and I'm sure you guys have asked me at some point, when do you stop when do you stop connecting with people and following up? I might space them out if I don't hear back from them after a couple times, but I continue to love on that person. I continue to send a message, maybe every 3 weeks, maybe every 4 weeks. Hey girl, I hope you're having an amazing day today. That's it. I don't have to say anything else, but it's being that light. It's being that person to say, I hope you have a wonderful day, because we have no idea what that person is going through, right? And that's the simplest message that takes me 2 seconds. And it might make their day, and it might save their life eventually. We don't know. So just building those relationships behind closed doors is so important. Okay. Reach out to those who may be afraid or comment. I kind of went over that. Oh, this one. So shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. So what does that mean? I used to be in this mindset of scarcity. So I would hit Success Club 5, and then I would hold people off till the next month so that I would guarantee, okay, I've already got Success Club 2, or I've already got Success Club 4. If I just hold them off for a couple days and push them to the next month. You guys, there is no freaking scarcity of people who need to learn about nutrition and who need somebody to hold their hand and love on them and empower them in this crappy ass negative world that we live in. Okay? There is no shortage of people who want a friend or a community surrounding them to uplift them and help them work towards being a healthier, happier version of themselves. I don't care if they're skinny, if they're overweight, if they're obese. I don't care. Everybody needs somebody to be a friend, right? Everybody needs to be empowered. That doesn't mean that they're all ready at the same time, or they're all ready when we are, but there is no scarcity. Okay, so get out of the scarcity mindset and remember that there is an abundance of people who need our help, and we can help an abundance if we get out of that scarcity. If we get out of that, oh my gosh, I got to get just 3 more people, and then I got to hold this person off. Get out of that mindset. Know that there are so many people out there who need our help, but we have to be the brave ones to step outside of our comfort zone and build relationships with them, connect with them, add them to our network, and start growing that relationship and that trust with them so that we can invite them to join us on this journey. Okay? So shifting your mindset. Number 7 is follow up is vital. So if you're currently using a pen and paper to track your follow-up list, I did that for a really long time, you guys, and it worked pretty good for a long time. It actually worked really well for me, but I tend to be a very organized person. I strongly encourage you to switch that over to using the computer. You can use Excel spreadsheets, Google Sheets. That's what I've been using. I use Google Sheets on my phone, so I can access the same file on a computer as I can on my phone, and I have it with me all the time. I'm not lugging around a notebook or a piece of paper or whatever. It's all in one place. Then I have a master list of who to follow up with, what their goals were. So on mine, I have the date. So I usually start a new bracket each Monday. Okay, so that I kind of break it down when I talk to them and what we talked about. So the date would be Monday, I started it for this week. I put their name. Next to that, I put what their goals are. What did we talk about? What are their struggles? Next to that, I put, did they enroll? Yes or no? Next to that, I put a follow-up date. So if they give me a specific time, maybe they're pregnant and they say, okay, follow back up with me in 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever. I put that in the next column. Okay. If they enroll or when they enroll, I highlight that whole row a certain color. So I already know, yes, they're already a client. So that way there's no like, I know that as you start talking to more people, there have been coaches. I have not done this myself, but there have been coaches who go back and invite and follow up, and that person had already joined them. So when you start talking to larger numbers of people, you don't want to forget who's already joined you. Okay. So that's how I highlight them to make them separate. And you don't have to do it that way. That's just something that's been working for me. It allows me to go back and reiterate and touch base on what their goals were. But again, remember how long it took you to get started, how long it took you to trust the process and join. Okay. And had your coach not followed up with you, would you be where you are today? Probably not. I had a girl who does essential oils ask me if I wanted to join her free group to learn more about essential oils. She asked me like 5 days ago, and I said yes, and she has yet to reply to me. That's fine, but her follow-up sucks, right? If somebody says yes to you, you need to respond. I mean, you don't have to respond right now and drop what you're doing. Keep your business hours for 5 days. Like, you need to have some follow-up. And if that person says, no, not right now, keep building that relationship. Don't just reach back out when it's time to invite them again. Keep growing that relationship. See how things are going. Maybe send them a free meal plan. Maybe invite them into a free group. Maybe send them an article on something that you know that they struggle with that could be helpful. Maybe you found a really cool recipe that you love, and you just say, instead of saying, hey girl, how's your week going? Just say, hey girl, I found this awesome recipe. Just thought I would pass it along and see if you would like it too. Super simple stuff, you guys, but it's things that we kind of overlook, right? It's just as easily not done as it is done. So follow up is key, and making sure that you have a good list. If paper and pen are working for you, rock it out. But as you increase your numbers, it's going to be more beneficial for you. And when you're on the fly, like how many times do you talk to somebody when you're out and about? You're maybe waiting. For me, I work a little bit while I'm waiting for the boys to come out of school. Well, I don't always have my notebook, right? Or maybe it's in the back of the car, and then I'm going to forget that I talked to that person. So to have my Google Sheets right here on my phone, I can type it in, type what we talked about. It makes it super, super easy. And then the last one is number 8, and it's use more than one platform. Okay. Now, I know that that can be a little challenging, especially when you're a newer coach or you're kind of struggling at the moment to be consistent on one platform. So I say this, get really good at one platform. For me, it's Facebook. Facebook is my go-to. Instagram is my secondary. Okay. I make my content on Facebook. I copy and paste it and put it over on Instagram. Don't share from Instagram or any of, I don't know if you can from the other platforms because I don't use Twitter or anything like that, but don't share it to your Facebook. Make all of your posts on social media live. Okay. Which also leads me to, if you're still using Buffer, I would discontinue it. And something that I told a couple of the other girls who were struggling with time and making posts like during the day or scheduling them out because they're stay-at-home moms and things like that, type it out on your phone, have the picture handy, and then have a timer go off on your phone. And if you need to go to the bathroom, post it live. Facebook kills it if it's from a third party. So if it's coming from Buffer, if it's coming from Instagram, if it's coming from Hootsuite, kills it. And then nobody sees your content. So it's kind of a waste of your time, okay? Because I know when I was doing Buffer, I spend an hour a week, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's an hour a week that I could have spent inviting people instead of plugging in posts, right? So I don't encourage using that anymore. I encourage typing it out on a note section on your phone, have the picture in mind that you're going to use, have a timer go off in your phone, and you post it live. It takes you 2 seconds to copy and paste and put it live, okay? So using more than one platform, Instagram stories. So stories are becoming like the thing. I don't know how many of you listened to Janica on the National Wake Up Call a couple weeks ago, but if you didn't listen to it, I highly recommend going back. I think it's Janica or Jakata. She has a really different name. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago now. I think it was 3 weeks ago. And she's all about Instagram stories. And I'll tell you what, that girl has got an amazing Instagram story line. Like when you watch her stories, it's just, she's constantly on. That's what she uses. But she's also blowing up Success Club because of Instagram stories. Most MLMs are not using the stories to share their life, to share their story, to share what they're doing. So while Facebook news feeds and a lot of hashtags are saturated with a lot of different, especially Facebook, because you're in the news feed, are saturated with other MLMs bombarding people all the time, so people kind of tune them out. The stories are not at this point. Stories are kind of the way that things are going. So Instagram stories is number 1 and Facebook stories is number 2. What I have been doing personally is I make my story on Instagram. The editing on there is a little bit more fun. You can do more things. You can layer words where you can't do that. Like for instance, if you wanted to say, like I did, yellow drink going down or something like that, you could only type one single sentence on Facebook. Whereas with Instagram, you could do several different texts and you can layer the words the way that you want. Does that make sense? Instead of it just being one long sentence that you're trying to spread across the picture or whatever. So I make it on Instagram stories. I save it to my camera roll. I go to Facebook and I plop it on Facebook, on my Facebook stories. It doesn't take me but what, 2 more seconds to go to Facebook stories and put it on there after I've put it on Instagram stories. So if you're not familiar with what Instagram stories are, this is the, kind of just your daily life routine that you don't want to post about every single day because people have seen it 10,000 times and they're going to tune you out. This is what you're doing on a daily basis to show your life. So it's kind of like Snapchat if you're on Snapchat, but it's more refined and you can put hashtags on it so that you're reaching people who are looking at that hashtag. You can put your location. So people who are looking at that location tag can see your post. So you're tapping into a whole new market of people that you wouldn't necessarily have connected with. Okay, so one that I've been using on Instagram with my posts in general, I have started using some UK. I've searched some of the UK hashtags that fit me, and I've been using those because we are launching in the UK next month, you guys. That's huge. Okay, it's a whole new market. So you need to start thinking about gearing your social media towards the UK and connecting with new people. Okay. So look into Instagram stories a little bit. If you haven't watched other people, look at other people's. I watch Angie Belmar has a good one. I'm going to look up what her name is. It's I follow Carolyn Marone, which is Cardio Lyvin. So it's Cardio Livin, but it's Lyvin. Maybe it's Jatana. That sounds more right. And for some reason, normally she's like the first or second one on my stories. She's not popping up right now for some reason. That's weird. I'm pretty sure it's Jatana. That sounds right to me. She has super short blonde hair. Yeah, it's Jatana Jackson. I don't know if you can, yeah, my phone's, oh, can you see her? She's the little blonde with the hot pink top on. Okay, follow her because she is the one that did the National Wake Up Call on Instagram stories, and go back, listen to that. It's super easy to do. It doesn't take a lot of thought. You don't have to stage things. And they do the boomerang. So like when I'm shaking up my shaker for my yellow drink or whatever, I'm just doing a boomerang. So it just keeps going like this. Just silly stuff. It doesn't have to, it's kind of like a no-brainer, but it's showing pieces of you throughout the day and how your day is going. Okay? So that's all I have for tonight, girls. I went a little longer than we normally do. Do any of you have any questions? Yeah, how do you find friends on Facebook in the UK? Okay, so what you could do is start looking for Facebook groups of like maybe mommy groups in the UK, something like that. I don't do a lot of things with groups. I'll be perfectly honest with you, because for me, it's too time consuming. But I have a couple friends that I have connected with from the UK that I'm really networking with and networking with their friends as well. So I think if you meet a couple, then you can really start talking with them and, you know, mingling with their friends as well. Starting a Facebook page would be another. Where did you research the hashtags for the UK? I'll answer that in just a second. So Facebook groups to connect and just find similar common interests, and then connecting with their friends and kind of growing relationships from there. Getting them into your free groups and really connecting with them now so that they get to know you and you grow those relationships and you can connect with their friends, and then, you know, invite them to invite their friends too, so you can really network with more people. And then getting a Facebook page started up is going to be probably your next step, Dana. But in Facebook stories, you can also do location. So I don't think, did I say that? When you do your Instagram stories and Facebook stories, you can do location. So you can actually tag, it doesn't have to be Ohio because you're in Ohio or you're in Michigan. You can tag wherever you want. So I know that Jatana will every now and then tag the UK so that people who are searching that are finding her through there. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, cool. And Karina, I just went on Instagram and I searched, you know, I just started typing UK in front of like fit mom, mommy of two boys. It's mummy. They use mummy, not mom. But just started, you know, things that I would normally hashtag. And I just started putting the UK in front of it and looking at them, like looking at the content that were on those tags to see if it fit me. And then I added a few of those into my normal tags that I use. So I have like 2 sections of hashtags saved in the notes of my phone. One is like my normal, and then the second one has like probably 6 or 8 UK hashtags in it. So I don't use that one all the time. I alternate between the 2. But then that way I'm getting into that market and, you know, people are seeing my content. Okay. And the cool thing about Instagram stories is you can actually hashtag things. So Facebook, you cannot, because people don't really search hashtags on Facebook. But with Instagram stories, like I will hashtag Dobermom or Dobermommy or Dober girl or something like that, because that's going to be my market, right? That's my tribe. Being that I have a puppy that I talk about all the time right now, and she's a Doberman, that's going to be the people I connect with. And there's a lot of women who share their pictures of their puppies. So that's one that I hashtag every now and then too. So just finding, Carolyn Marone said maybe a week ago, April had shared something that she was talking about Instagram, and it's so true. Like Instagram is somewhat tedious because you really have to have pretty pictures. Like I wouldn't even say that my Instagram account is pretty. You know, I haven't found that the look that I want yet. I work at it, but I haven't found that actual look of, if you go to Angie Belmar's or Jachana's or Janelle's or, you know, or Carolyn's. If you look at Carolyn's, it's gorgeous. They have like a color scheme and they just all look very bright and pretty. And mine is not there yet, but what you will find is, yes, it's tedious. You have to stage your pictures because Instagram is all about the quality of the picture for people to really connect with it, because you get that 2 seconds of people looking through hashtags. You have to get an eye-catching picture. But those are all people who are extremely successful because they're connecting with their tribe through Instagram. They then move them over to Facebook, but they're really connecting and finding their lifers through their tribe and connecting with them on Instagram first. So it's something to think about. I know that it takes more time, and I know it takes, more thought and more staging of pictures and kind of being creative. But if it will move your business forward like it has for those women, then it's definitely worth that extra time and effort, an extra 5 or 10 minutes of staging a picture and not just doing a sweaty selfie, or putting better lighting on your dinner and making sure your dinner's on a white plate, and, just different things like that. So cool. Thanks for the questions, girls. Anybody else? Anything else? No? All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the call and being here tonight. Good luck to Juno tomorrow. Sending lots of love for good surgery, and everything. Hope everything goes okay. All right. All right, girls. Yep, you're welcome, girl. All right, girls, I'll let you go for tonight. Have a great rest of your evening, and I'll talk with you all tomorrow. See ya.